Card delight, trading card. It's time to join the conversation. Ready to journey into the trading card hall.
Okay, hi, good evening, everyone. It's Chris here from Trading Card Talk, and with me is my friend.
Hi everyone, Geoffrey here.
Yeah, so we have been a bit behind on the pod because Jeffrey had to have a minor surgery in the hospital. Thankfully, he's now out and about already, so he's still recovering, I guess.
All good now.
Yeah. So today is the 5th of September. We are recording at 11:50 p.m. and exciting news has just come out. So I guess missing 1 week of the pod last week was a good thing because there wasn't much news last week, right? So
Yeah,
so this week we woke up to a brand new world where a whole bunch of tomes and card draw cards have been effectively banned in Classic Constructed and Blitz. So what do you think, Jeffrey? What do you think of this news?
yeah. I think this is one of the most extensive banned and restricted announcement that we have had for a while now, and it is surprising to say the least. Although, from my personal point of view, it's not really. It doesn't really affect the game in a negative way. It kind of brings back the philosophy of the game, like the ban and restricted announcement explained in the beginning of the article.
Yeah, I actually haven't been able to read everything in that article. It's a pretty long article. So when I woke up the morning when the announcement came out, I just saw the list of cards and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I agree with you. I think the ban is actually a good ban. Aggressive, but I think it's very good for the
yeah.
future of
I
the game.
mean,
Yeah.
I think if we want to talk about it a little bit, I personally have used Cash In and Tome of Divinity quite extensively using with my decks,
Yep.
and seeing this ban list now, it's I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing. Like, I understand that while card draws are strong, it in Flash and Blood sometimes it gives a feeling of like negative play experience for the other party, the other end receiving. Like when you play double Tome of Divinity in the same turn,
Mm, mhm.
the opponent just feels bad, man.
Yeah, I was just scrolling through the article and I saw some of the reasons why they left some of the card draw cards around, right? Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I agree. I think in any card game, because my first card game is Flesh and Blood, right? And
Mm-hmm.
because of the business, I have to get into other card games. And I've been mentioning in prior episodes that I've been getting into a lot of Magic, and I can observe the effects of card draw. And I think this is a really good ban for the health of the game, because every single copy of the cards mentioned here, right, they do a lot of broken things, right? And in any
Mm-hmm.
card game, I think card draw is a very powerful mechanic that gives a card major card advantage. In the case of all the cards listed here, right, you're getting at least 2 to 3 cards drawn by playing the card. And if you go into a double, like you said, if you like a double Tome of Divinity card play, you get so many cards, right? I mean, it's the same as with Art of War, as well as uh, cards like Tome of Aetherwind and all that. And even Tome of Final, which I actually do use in my Valda, the Blitz deck. So yeah, I don't know. I don't feel bad about it actually. When I look at it through a positive view of
Mm-hmm.
wanting the game to be a game that's going to be long lasting, right? And also it's a game that's going to be balanced. I think this is a very good call because quite a number of the cards here are generic cards, right? Which are
Yeah.
actually, like the article did say, right? It's accessible to almost every class,
Mm-hmm.
which allows for broken things to happen. And especially with classes like Ninja or any kind of class that can create tokens, like just like a crouching tiger. That means you can effectively keep your hand and you just burn these tokens to get more cards. And that's why I think Zen has been such a broken hero from the get-go, right? Because the community figured out how they can abuse Art of War, utilizing the ephemeral keyword, right, that allows these crouching daggers to be created. Yeah.
Yeah, I think also like overpowered generic cards like Art of War, Tomb of Vandal, and Cashin to a certain degree, it kind of limits future design space of a game that
Yeah.
you kind of have to consider the existence of that card to design future cards. So
Yeah. Yeah.
getting that out of the way early in, I think, mm, gives a lot of room for the game to develop.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think LSS will not explore card draw, because card draw is a common thing in card games, right? But I
Yeah.
think within the Flash and Blood game system, because it's very linear, I think
Mhm.
they have to find ways to also produce cards and do card draw, but also create some form of limitation on them, so that they can so that the ability of these cards to be broken can be maintained and managed properly, right? I think one way to do is actually to just limit certain card draw cards to certain classes, and then create some form of so that actually limits the card usage in one way, right? So that you don't have to so that the card is not open to every single class and every single talent, right? So I think this is potentially one way that Flash and Blood can balance this particular mechanic or card draw to make it more playable and more balanced and more fair, so that there are no instances of there are less instances of unmanaged heroes that just like really take the game every single time. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think card draws, if left unchecked, can turn the game into a kind of like solitaire-like game where you just do what you want to do without any regards to your opponent,
Yeah.
and it kind of defeats the purpose of Flesh and Blood, where the game is supposed to be interactive between you and your opponents.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I think I see that when I play Magic now, right? Like when you play
Yeah.
a game of Commander, when you have all those tutor cards. And I mean, to those of you who are listening who don't play card games or are just starting card games, a tutor card is basically a card that allows you to go to your deck and search for cards or to draw more cards. I mean, a tutor draws a specific card, and then there, of course, in Magic, there are cards that actually just draw many
Mhm.
copies of cards, or you draw from the top of the deck, right? And I can see that happening in Magic when you have some powerful decks in Commander, or even maybe in the standard deck, where on your turn, before you have to discard your hand, because in Magic you discard your hand when you have more than 7 cards, right? And then but before you do that, if you have in Magic, if you have enough resources or mana to play out your hand, so if you can do like a powerful card draw engine, you can suddenly have a handful like 10 or 20 cards or whatever, right? Some mystical thing that you can do if you know how to play your deck and can combo off. And then suddenly with all that mana that you have, you suddenly can play out all like 10 cards or 12 cards or 13 cards. And that for sure will give you the game, right? So you can see that happening in Magic, because Magic, of course, Magic is a different game, right? Magic is not like Flash of Blood. And I think
Mhm.
me dabbling into Magic has made me see that they're both very different games, and I don't think you can actually compare Flash and Blood to Magic one directly anymore. When I first started playing Flash and Blood, we when I first started teaching people to play the game, and when we started meeting some Magic players and tried to help them to understand which hero or archetype they wanted to play, right? We tried to draw comparisons to Magic, and because I didn't have actual hands-on experience playing much Magic, I use that as an example, right? To how to try to help people. But then now that I'm playing Magic, I realize actually it's two very different games. An aggro deck in Magic is not exactly the same as the aggro deck in Flesh and Blood. Neither is a control
Mhm.
deck in Magic the same as a control deck in Flesh and Blood. So that's where there are differences there. Yeah, right. But yeah, card draw, right? Like card draw is really, really powerful. In Magic, I think it's a lot more worse because Magic is a different type of game. Flesh and Blood also is bad, but you don't. But I think in Flash of Blood, I don't see people with like a 15 card hand, right? I mean, I
Yeah.
think the most you see a player who does card draw, like for example with Ninja, maybe the person has like 4 cards start off, they draw, and then they end up having maybe with Arsenal maybe 7 cards, 8 cards. But even so, even in Flash and Blood, that 7-8 card hand is massive damage, right? Yeah, especially with a card like Art of War, where you +1 to every attack after that. That's why the ninjas have been broken, right? Because they've got
Yeah.
zero cost, and then I think it's a really good ban. What's happened now, and I think it's going to be. I think it's a positive thing for the game where it will allow all our heroes to be able to play well with each other, and we have given us a better opportunity to be able to get some wins rather than have a very low win percentage against certain decks, right? Yeah.
I mean, if you want to draw your entire deck in a single turn, you can play Yu-Gi-Oh. I mean, in Yu-Gi-Oh, you kind of don't have any limit on card draws, and yeah, as I
Oh
said
my
before,
god, that sounds
it,
bad.
yeah, it makes the game become like a solitaire-like game where you just do whatever you want to do.
Correct. Yeah, I think you see in competitive commander or CEDH, right? You have this kind
Yeah,
of deck, right? That where the deck just where it depends on who starts the game, and then the player just goes off, and then they keep drawing cards, and then they do
yeah,
this, they do that, and then you don't even get to play, right? And then by turn 3, maybe it's a turn 0 deck, and then at turn 1 they finish the game already, and then like everyone's like, oh, what just happened?
yeah. I mean, maybe certain kind of players like that kind of gameplay, but it just goes against the very fundamentals of Flesh and Blood. I think
Yeah. I mean, I've like I said, when comparing Magic and Flesh and Blood, I realized, sure, there are some players who like to work out combos, and there's a certain category of players or certain personality who enjoys this kind of things. I think that's not wrong, right? But I think at the end of the day, in
Mhm.
a card game, depending on your play group or the community or the people that you're with, you got to be more sensitive about why everyone's there at the table. If the table is filled with people who just like to do combos and play solitaire, that's fine, right? At least the
Yeah.
other 3 people in there have got similar decks that do the same thing. So you just enjoy seeing that, right? But I think, like you said, Flash and Blood is not that kind of game. Flash and Blood is meant to be a game that's interactive, right? So you can't
Mhm.
have one player just doing their own thing and ignoring what the other person is supposed to be doing, right? Because I think so far in my experience with Flash and Blood, whenever we play, right, we are always watching what cards are being played. We are trying to determine or trying to predict what our opponent has in their hand, and that's where the interaction happens, right? That's why Flash and Blood tends to be more taxing mentally.
Mhm.
And when I play Magic, I'm more relaxed actually. But when I'm playing Flash and Blood, I feel I'm a bit more I'm a lot more focused on the game because I can't just like let the person do something or play a card. I can't ignore what's on the table, right? And then not decide whether I want to commit a card to block or commit to a certain instant card to do
Mhm.
something, right? Yeah. So I think
Mhm.
that's where I think this band is good. It's going to help to create a healthier ecosystem for Flash and Blood. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of Magic, I think they also have recently imposed a ban on Nadu in modern format, which
Yeah.
I heard.
Yeah.
I heard that it is also a very problematic card, and I think it's interesting to see how different the community reacts on the ban in MTG and the ban in Flash and Blood. I mean, doesn't mean I don't say which one is worse, which one is better, but I think it's just interesting to see the difference in how the community responds to it.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. I mean, I just started playing Magic a bit more, so I don't know all the cards in Magic or the effects of the impact of the card. So yeah, I know. I of course I've been monitoring. I saw the BN because the BNR came out shortly before the BNR from Flesh and Blood, right? So let's see.
Mhm.
Nadu is a card from Modern Horizon, so that's a set that's not too long ago. So it's a legendary wing creature for those of you who play Magic probably will understand this. Those of you who just play Magic probably won't get what's going on. So in Magic, you cast creatures, right? So this is like a flying creature, and in Magic, flying creatures are hard to block because everyone's on the ground, and you see this flying bird thing trying to hit you. so, so wow, this card is powerful. It says you can cast permanent spells as though that flash. So flash is a bit like instant, right? In Magic. So oh wow! So it says whenever a permanent you control becomes a target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a land card, put it into the battlefield. Otherwise, put it in your hand. Wow, this is powerful. Yeah, because it's like you can play permanent spells as though that flash, so it's almost like an instant.
Mhm.
and then after that you can review the card from the library and you can like draw cards. It's a card draw thing. And it's a land card. And in Magic, right? There's this whole there's this whole land screw or land flood thing, right? So
Yeah.
this card actually helps you to fix land screw, right? Because you say that if it's a land card, you can put it onto the battlefield, which means you can have more resources to do things. If not, you have another card that you draw from your library and puts into your hand, which could be a spell that you can do to field further attacks. Okay. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. So there again, here you go, folks. A Magic BNR banning a card that does card draw. So yeah, you can see card draw is very powerful. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, it's true. I guess like looking at this ban from Magic, it's actually a similar kind of thing, right? I think yeah, they're keeping an eye on the game. This is the same as how Black and Blood is. Yeah. And this is and Modern Horizons 3 is actually a very powerful set because it's modern legal. So that means in Magic, I think modern is a much more expensive format to play because you have a larger card pool. And Wizards actually produces sets like Modern Horizons that introduce a lot of powerful cards into the game. That's why Modern Horizons is actually a more expensive. If you want to buy a pack of Modern Horizons, it's more expensive than buying a regular play booster. Okay, cool. Well, enough about ban and restrictions. I think as we said, we want to try to keep our pod a little bit shorter today. But let's look to more exciting things. So this weekend it's going to be the Rosetta World
Yeah.
Premiere. Wow, we're going to be able
Really
to
can't wait.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to do this weekend. Like, I don't know whether I'm going to just watch things because I still got to do stuff in the store. I mean, I'm glad I have a store manager, but I still need to be in the store, and because I really want to connect with players. And yeah, I've been spending less time in the store now, so sometimes I feel very guilty for not being there. Yeah, yeah. I think we should. I think I will get my store manager to run the whole Rosetta thing, the whole weekend and just leave it on
Yeah.
TV. Yeah, that would be fun. Yeah. But I
I'm
think I don't know them. Yeah, go on, Jeffrey. Yeah.
I'm currently turning on my Discord notification for any card reveals that got announced throughout the weekend
Aha.
because this spoiler season I kind of feel, I mean, not exactly disappointed, but uh, I don't know how to say it, but because they only reveal the common and rare card uh,
Mm-hmm.
for now, I'm really excited to see what the Majestics and Legendaries will do in the Rosetta.
Yeah, I think I don't know where I heard it. I've been having. I mean, we have so many conversations about Flesh and Blood, right? I don't know whether I heard it from our business partners, or whether I heard it from other players or other community members. But I think this season, I think LSS did say, right, this
Mhm.
season they wanted to spoil less cards so that there's more excitement, especially over during the period of the world premiere, so that all of us will be more excited and have a bit more secrets to discover, right? Yeah, I think that's going to be good because I find sometimes pre-release can be a little bit of an unfun experience because if you get a very competitive player who comes in,
Yeah.
that guy has already studied everything, right? And then they can like build a perfect deck. But the rest of us are like, oh, what card is this? Oh, let's just take this card.
I will be way more excited if I'm in Tampa Bay right now. But unfortunately, it's just too far away. Let's hope that next set we have a world premiere in Southeast Asia, maybe.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, yeah. Let's hope to get well. If not in Southeast Asia, at least somewhere in Asia, right? It's a lot easier for us to get
Yeah,
to
like the
Southeast
one they
Asia.
did in Tokyo was really nice, I think. But I didn't get the chance to attend it.
Yeah, but hey, Gazelle came by to my
Yeah.
store last weekend. Yeah,
Oh yeah. He did.
yeah,
He,
yeah,
he
yeah. Cause
played skirmish at your store, right?
yeah, he did. He didn't even have a deck. So for folks for those who don't know, Gazelle is the dad in Fat Family. Fat Family Fun, right? His channel, his
Yep.
Twitter account. Yeah. So Gazelle was actually in town for business, and then what happened was I followed him on Twitter, or I think was it Facebook or Twitter? I can't remember. I think it was Facebook. Then he posted like, oh, he went to Invictus Forge to get some goodies there for his kids and all that, right? And I was
Hmm.
like, hey, what are you doing in here, right? Like you're here in town. So I was asking him, hey, and I think I saw the post on a Friday, and then I pinged him on Friday on Facebook, and then I said, "Hey, we are having skirmish on Saturday, the next day. Do you want to come?" And he was like, I don't even have a deck. I said, you can play my deck, it's fine, because I'm not going to be playing, right? So
Mhm.
I gave you a couple of options. I had Briar, who incidentally is now Living Legend,
Yeah,
my
sadly.
Briar Blitz deck, and then I also had Valda, which is quite a fun deck to play. And I had an Emperor, right? So I get so we were chatting a bit. He actually said he had a Briar deck that he list that he had, which was similar to mine. So I said it's fine. I mean, like, if that's what you want to play, I'll go see what I'll pull the cards out for you, and then I will build the deck that you need, right? But then after that, later on at night on Friday, he was like, I think I'm going to play Emperor. So I said, okay, sure. So I just I tweaked the Emperor deck a bit and passed it to him, and he played it. Yeah, but he said like he was very sorry because he didn't do too well because he wasn't familiar with the Emperor. So I said,
Yeah,
don't worry about it. Yeah, it's fine.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
fine
but
as
he had
long as
fun.
that's
He had
fun.
fun. Yeah.
We
Yeah.
should actually invite him and the kids sometime in the future to this podcast.
Yeah, we should again. Yeah. So yeah, maybe they can be a regular, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why. So it was fun. It was good to meet him. We I think he took a couple of pictures and he posted it on Twitter. I think, yeah, and then it was good fun to have
Mhm.
a friend like out of the blue come, right. And yeah, it was just perfect timing because I think his flight also got delayed because he wasn't sure whether he could play. And then after that, he played, and then after that yeah, like I said, he didn't do too well with the Emperor. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm.
it's fine. Yeah, but he had fun, and then yeah, and then he headed off to the airport quite early to go to the next his next destination for work. Yeah, so yeah, that was fun. It was fun seeing him. I was like so surprised. It was good that he could come. 'Cause, yeah, yeah. So yeah, Tampa Bay. I think this weekend let's look out. I don't think there have been many cards have been spot since the last we spoke, which is good, right? I think this weekend is
Yeah.
going to be a bit more exciting for us to see. Um, but I'm a bit burnt out because of Zen. I mean, I've been because I've been playing Techno Watson, right? And Techno Watson is terrible in this current meta. So I've been playing more Magic now because I want to learn the game more so I can
Mhm.
figure out how to build a stronger Magic community or new Magic community in my store. So I've been enjoying Magic a lot. So I'm taking a break from Flesh and Blood right now. I do have my decks, of course. I'm not going to liquidate them or let them go, but I'm just taking a break and just being a bit more casual. And I'm having quite a bit of fun with Magic actually. And I realized that Magic, from a deck building perspective, I mean, of course, it's the oldest game around, right? I think deck building is a lot more flexible in Magic
Yeah.
compared to Flesh and Blood. Flesh and Blood tends to be a bit more linear. But having said that, it's not that Flash Blood is like a bad game or they are not working on things. It's more like I think they have less because of the design of the game. I think that's one. It doesn't
Mhm.
Deck building is not the same as Flash and Blood. And number two, I think obviously the card pool is still not as big, right? So I,
Mhm.
I think Flash and Blood still has got quite a long way to go to build a game that has more deck building creativity. I find that Flash and Blood, you have I think the designers haven't done as much to create multi-card interactions because in Magic, when you build your decks, right, your cards interact off each other, correct? So you can
Mhm.
play one card on the field on one turn, you can play another card on the battlefield another turn, and then you play another card suddenly, and then these three cards like talk to each other, and then something happens, right? So Flash and Blood doesn't have that happening too much. I don't see that kind of multi-card interaction happening so often. I mean, at least right now for me, I can't,
Yeah.
I can't think of something similar in Flash and Blood that does that, right? And I think that's a design space that's very open still for Flash and Blood,
Mhm.
where
Mhm.
where instead of just being a linear damage kind of game, right? Where you can create some non-linearity in there, because then that allows you to have alternate win conditions. They're still based on the mechanics of the game, but it allows certain decks to be able to perform better compared to a pure aggro deck like a ninja. Like a ninja is just pure damage, right? You have like a 5 card hand, 6 card hand because of your Art of War draw and all that, and that's so much damage that that's basically 4 cards out of your opponent's hand when you attack, and that means from card 5 onwards, there's nothing to block that damage, right? And that's really broken, I think. So that's where I think that there are a lot of spaces where Flash and Blood is still a young game, so there's a lot of places where they can explore to create this kind of opportunities where other heroes are able to do various things that can also help to give them a better edge in the game. And I think that will make for a more enjoyable experience for everyone. Because in Flash and Blood, we play the heroes that we like, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
I like Tech Lowerson because he reminds me of Iron Man, correct? I know
Yep.
he's not great now, right? But I like the play style. I like the fact that he does something different where the goal of the deck is actually to find ways to get the armor on. And then once you get the armor online, you become mega powerful. And then
Mm-hmm.
you can transform to macro potent. That's cool. But unfortunately, because the deck is a slow deck, even though my build is a bit more mid range, I can still push damage, but it's still but I can't meet the kind of damage. I can't dish out the same kind of damage as a KO. Neither can I dish out the same kind of damage as obviously Zen. So that's where
Yeah.
I feel bad to play him. That's why it's like cold storage him. I mean, yeah. So yeah. Yeah, yeah. So it's like it's a feel bad. I take him out to play. I meet Zen. I know it's an auto lose, and I meet Enigma. It's definitely a lose as well because Enigma just does all kinds of stuff on instant and all that. I'm like, okay, I can't do anything with her.
Yeah, but I think with how the meta shifts and how the card pool grows over time, I think
Yeah,
each hero will get their spotlight in due time.
yeah.
And I don't know, maybe right now the 12% is viable because the meta has slowed down a little bit.
Maybe I have to
Mhm.
try.
Yeah, and
But
and
my
then
idea
since
for yeah, but my
uh,
idea for some cards that Tech Lawson can have is actually to have some maybe some to create some tokens like Phoenix Flames or like a dragon,
mhm,
right?
mhm.
Like because he's a robot character, right? So he could have some floating robot sentries that can do some
Ah,
stuff.
yeah, that's an interesting idea.
Yeah, maybe LSS, maybe you've heard me, or maybe you already have this idea. So for all those
Yeah,
of you who listen to this pod, you heard it here first.
just need to wait for Bloodlight 2.0.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So yeah. So yeah. There's some thoughts about the game. Yeah, but I am looking forward to seeing Flash and Blood really introduce a lot more new mechanics, not just new heroes, right? But mechanics that can help balance the game and give
Yeah.
a good decent amount of power to all heroes. I think right now, I mean, it's true from probably like from a business perspective, it's good to have some showcase heroes that do well. But at the
Mhm.
same time, I think letting these heroes be too powerful is not good as well, because it just makes the rest of us who play the other 70% of the heroes that we can't play the heroes as well, right? And at the end of the day, in a game, especially a game that's like Clash of Blood, where it's 1v1, I mean, it's not great to have like three straight losses. I mean,
Mhm.
honestly, for me, I would, as a player, I would love to have a better shot at success, right, against another deck, rather than have that deck be so powerful that my hero doesn't mean anything, right? I think that's actually doesn't feel that great.
Yeah, I mean, in an asymmetric game like Flesh and Blood, balance is a fickle thing to do right, I think.
Yeah,
And yeah,
yeah,
we just need to see how the card pool growth and how the meta shifts around
yeah,
different heroes. So
yeah,
yeah, new
yeah,
sets like Rosetta brings a lot of excitement, a lot of room to like tinker, to
yeah.
test new things out, something like that.
Yeah, I honestly think a multi-card interaction, some exploration to multi-card interaction
Mhm,
to get bigger payoff would be great, right? Like three cards being played in succession, causing something, or one. I mean, maybe a bit like Katsu, how Katsu works, right?
yeah.
Katsu, I mean, Katsu is very simple example of how the first card played affects the second
Mhm,
card, and then the second card affects the third card. But maybe something not so linear, something where you have a different as long as the combination of cards is there, you get some
mhm.
bigger payoff, maybe. Yeah. But again, like I said, it's hard to translate a magic type mechanic into Flash and
Mhm.
Blood. But something like that would be fun, right?
I think Rip Katsu though, by the way. But I think one thing that I like in Magic is how their color system work. They have five
Mm,
colors, and you can mix and match different colors
yeah,
to create your deck. And I think one way to do it in Flesh and Blood is through the exploration of talents in heroes and how like hybrid class heroes might exist, like something like kind of like an emperor,
yeah,
something like
yeah,
that.
yeah. I think the Emperor is a. I mean, people say Emperor is actually isn't Emperor a rune blade, but when I look at the Emperor, I say
Mhm,
no, he's not a rune blade. He's got access because of his talent and his class, right, he's
Yeah.
got access to some weird combination of things. I mean, for me, the Emperor right now, the optimal build is to build him with because of the limitation of rate of being able to play only rate cards. You can basically and draconic cards, and so his
Mm-hmm.
card pool is sort of limited but open in a way as well. So I have not. I don't think I will ever build the Emperor as a hero who swings a sword because he can't do much if he swings a sword, right? So it's not yeah, you put in like attack cards. Like my version of Emperor runs a lot more attack action cards, draconic cards. And then you have obviously the CNC and then the wizard spells, right? And I think having access to Storm Riders makes him dangerous, right? Even
Yep.
though so and he can be a very aggressive hero because like the Emperor is actually a weird hero to play against because whenever I bring the Emperor out, my opponents don't know what to do. They're like, oh, what do I put on? How much AB do I put on?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you can put on whatever you want. It doesn't matter to me because if you armor up with all AB, I will just start
You're
hitting
just
you.
gonna get fried.
Yeah, physical damage, right? If you put on armor, no problem. I'll just destroy you with spells. Yeah. So it's like
Yeah.
that's a yeah. I think that's actually a good point,
Mm-hmm.
Jeffrey. I think if they can explore heroes with various talent combinations, that will create something a bit like of a magic kind of environment, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where instead of playing with color in magic, it's like different combinations of color you can combine together, right? But in Flesh and Blood, it's really talent and class combinations that can allow you to
Mm-hmm.
have controlled access to different card pool that allows you to
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
play around. Yeah. That's
It's
actually
like how they design the elemental heroes with essence, something like
Mm,
that. I think.
yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, honestly, right now I'm more excited for Magic than I am for Flesh and Blood because I think maybe because I am affected by the fact that I see quite a number of the heroes that I play not so viable. Zen was really a big turn off for me, right? Yeah, because it's so
Mm-hmm.
powerful that ninja. Yeah. Anyways, but
Rip Ninja
but
though.
yeah, he's out of the game, right? I mean, like
Yeah.
he's out of Blitz. Has he been
Yeah.
able
He's
to
out, but not dead yet.
soon. I had a on demand today, and then one of the players came by and said, "Oh, this is
Yeah.
like one of the last few times I can play Zen, so he's going to play Zen." So he brought Zen out.
Mhm. Yeah. For
Yeah.
for me, for me, Magic is just too much. I think I cannot really keep up with how they release a new set every month.
I agree, but I think right now, for me coming into Magic and getting Magic started in the store, I look at the new. It's aggressive. I agree. It's a lot more work for us in the store as well. But having new sets is a good thing in a way also because I find that uh the new sets in Magic have very interesting themes. Like
Yeah.
this current one, the new one that's coming out, Dustmon, is a bit more of a 80s horror type thing, right? With fantasy, of course, because Magic is a fantasy you know type game, right? I think that's interesting because that's where I think Magic's multiverse kind of you know universe allows for interesting themes to be played out, right? I mean, to be
Yeah. They,
produced.
they have these different planes and with different themes and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Dustborn is actually a set about it's actually a plane where the whole plane is a house, and there's a demon thing in there that actually swallow up the whole plane, and then this house is all that this house exists in that plane, and then a lot of creepy things happen in there. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like they took a bit of the horror stuff from movies and all that, put it into the set, and of course we have all the magic heroes, the planeswalkers and all that, wandering around the house doing searching for something, right? Exactly like a horror movie. I think that's interesting. I think that's where Magic over the 30 years they found ways to actually make it a bit more fun, taking the story somewhere else. And the multiverse concept actually allows them to explore different themes. Like the last one was Bloomberg, like the current one is Bloomborough, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you have bunnies and otters, doing fighting the big evil and all that. And then now the next set is going to be the journey into this I can't remember. I'm not sure whether the story connects to each other. They do, but I have not been following it, right? But this next time they go into this horror realm, and
Yeah.
it all fits, right?
That
Because yeah,
that escalated really quickly.
correct, yeah. So, but I think at the end of the day, Magic, if done correctly, as stores and all that, right? We can use these different themes to actually bring new people to the game, right? No, I mean,
Mhm.
in the same as Flash and Blood, right? Like Rosetta it's got a lot more green and there's more nature, and then
Mhm.
that could appeal to certain people. And Magic is the same as well. You have a horror theme, so maybe we can appeal to fans of horror movies, right? They can, oh, let's try this
Yeah.
with a horror set, right? And then Bloom Bro is more cute. That can maybe can get more women to play the game. And I think having this way to explore sets creatively through the visuals and the art is actually a good way for us to actually introduce the game to, the various games that we enjoy to different people, right?
Yeah,
So
and I
yeah,
think it's one of the few possible direction for Flesh and Blood to
yeah, yeah,
kind of
yeah,
explore more about this kind of multiverse thingy. Like they have been dabbling with shadow forces from other tile, and I think it's one of
yeah,
the
yeah. I think that's where I think honestly, compared to Magic, Flesh and Blood still needs a lot of work in the lore.
yeah,
Honestly, as a fan of Flesh and Blood, I'm a little bit disappointed in the lore because I'm like the lore is not going fast enough, and
yeah,
like I don't see the connection between various things. It's like a lot of the stories are left hanging. Um, yeah, I think that's where I know LSS is a small team. The team's not as big as Wizards, right? So yeah,
mhm,
but it would be good to have more interesting stories being told out of the world of Wraith. Um, and having more stronger writers coming in to
yep,
actually flesh out the world more, put more interesting things. Because actually, right now, the way I see it, there's some characters that are very interesting in Flesh and Blood. Like Levi is quite an interesting character. Um, so like
mhm,
there's certain characters that are quite interesting. Like Arachne is interesting, right? I think.
yep,
And then you have Uzuri. Some of the more darker characters are kind of
mhm,
interesting, but there's not a lot being done to flesh them out. Even the Emperor, I think he's some of the stories that I've read about him so far are kind of interesting as well. But then
yeah.
he's dead now. I'm like, okay, what's going on? So
I,
yeah, mm,
I think right now it just feels like the Flesh and Blood lore just feels like small pieces of stories here and there with
yeah,
no
yeah,
connections to each other whatsoever.
yeah, correct,
Yes,
yeah, yeah,
we kind of need like a general storyline that progresses forward. Like in the Uprising arc, I think I really like the
yeah,
Uprising
yeah,
arc
correct.
of the
The uprising art
Dynasty.
was a bit, yeah, the uprising
Yeah.
art was a bit more exciting. It seemed like it was
Yeah,
pushing
yeah.
the story further, right? Yeah. Anyways, I mean, to LSS, I know you guys are trying your best. But yeah, a bit more world building would be great. Find ways to actually help us to connect more with the heroes that we love,
Yep.
so that we can actually have something to look forward to. Because in Magic, that actually is what happens, right? In Magic, the heroes are actually doing stuff, and the story progresses very dramatically from set to set. Yeah, I think that's something that's missing in Flesh and Blood now. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
True.
yeah, yeah. Okay, I think it's getting late, and I know you have just gone out the hospital and recovering, and I've been out the whole day working and doing stuff. Yeah. So okay, everyone. This is going to be I think I don't know. We thought we'll record quite short, but we went on for quite a bit as well. So yeah. So this is episode 8 of Trading Card Talk. Yeah, we are late by 1 week. Hopefully, I can push it out over this weekend during the world premiere
Yeah.
of Rosetta.
We
Yeah.
will bring more exciting stuff once Rosetta hits the stores.
Yeah, right. I mean, I'm going to be. I probably won't play in the pre-release in my store because my pre-release is happening. We're doing it on the 13th of September, the first day that we can do pre-release. I want to do it at night because I want to make it a bit more casual, chill,
Mm-hmm.
and that be one of the allow players to be one of the first few to actually like play around the new cards. Yeah. So maybe I'll play my own pre-release if there's still slots, not enough people there or whatever. But on the weekend, I'm definitely going to play the friend's store because I want to just like chill and not think about like the store and go and actually check out the cards for myself and build something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So yeah, thank you guys for listening. Do follow us. We will be putting up I've been putting the pod up on YouTube and also on Spotify. So do like us and subscribe to our episodes. I'm not sure how you do that in Spotify, but definitely on YouTube you can just subscribe to the channel. And then let's see how we can. Yeah, I think Geoffrey, maybe we can think about how we can actually reward subscribers by doing a bit of giveaways. I think so. Maybe we can think about
Yeah,
it in the next
sure,
episode.
sure.
So if like someone comments or do something from Malaysia or someone from Indonesia, then we can actually just post out something to them. Maybe we
Yep,
can think how we can do
certainly.
that. Yeah, cool. So thanks, Geoffrey. I hope you get a good night's rest. Yeah. So
Right.
any final words to say to close off the episode to anyone who's listening?
Well, not really much. I think just enjoy the game, enjoy whatever you are doing with whichever game you plays.
Yep.
Well, I mean, don't take everything in your heart too seriously. It's just game. You want to have fun.
Yeah.
You don't have to be that competitive to
Correct.
have
Yeah,
fun.
I try to do. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, so just have fun with games. Have fun with Flash and Blur. Have fun with your heroes. If your playgroup is a bit too serious, so ask them to lighten up. Or go or just find some other people. I mean, the Flash and Blur has got all kinds of players, right? So if some players are just a bit too competitive, there's always other people you can play with for a while. And then come back to competitive and get better. I think competitive is really important for Flash and Blur, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Do check out the pre-release events next week if you have
Yeah,
time.
guys, check out pre-release
It-
events.
It's a really nice
So
way to learn about the game, to learn about the new set.
correct. I think the 8-pack sealed format, even though it's going to be more expensive actually, but I think it's a better way to play because with
Yep,
8-pack you get the better card pool.
definitely,
You can
definitely.
do more things, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, so yeah, guys, check out pre-releases next week. When is yours happening?
Same as you, 13th of September, I
Are you
think.
doing it at night as well?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So let's build our decks, and then we can we can share the decks that we built that night, and then see who built the better deck.
Oh, sure.
Okay, cool. All right, guys. So yeah, this is Trading Card Talk episode 8, I believe. So tune in to us. In 2 weeks' time we'll do another one. And I think by that time we have Rosetta out and we can just
Mhm.
talk about the heroes that we enjoy. And I'm looking forward to Florian, so I hope I can
Same with me.
I hope I can build a Florian deck during the pre-release. If not, I'll probably end up playing Aurora, which sounds like a simpler deck to build. Yeah. All right,
For me,
guys.
it's either Florian or Ferdinand. So yeah.
Yeah, we're done.
You know
Okay,
it.
cool. Yeah, I don't know whether I ever played Auxilio. I know yeah, I haven't really played Wizard that much. I mean, I did play a bit of Volcano, but not a lot. Okay, guys. So thank you so much for listening. Yeah. So good night.
All right. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.
Card Delight, trading cards. It's time to join the conversation. Journey into the trading card hall.